Hey Flosstube, how you doing? This is Lori at Once Upon a Stitch. Welcome to my channel. I'd like to welcome the new people as well as my subscribers. I am enjoying making videos. Unfortunately, I seem to have to do it over and over again because I don't know, I get tongue-tied and then I feel silly, so then I start all over. But I'm going to go through with this. I don't know how to edit and I don't know how to insert, so I'm going to do the best that I can every time I make a video and hope you continue to come and watch and visit and comment and enjoy. Alrighty, I'm going to start with my Mania update. I was of the type that I was going to start one every other day. So May 1st, the first one I started was Be Bright. It was a Lizzie Kate, and it's this little guy right here, the reindeer. And on the first day I did finish it, and on the second day I completed it. And then I was realizing something. I was like, oh, I don't know. I could have done a little bit more. So maybe for next year I'll rethink some of my Mania starts. On the third day, May 3rd, I did Be Sweet. That one right there. And here's my Be Sweet. Again, I finished it in one day, and on the second day I completed it. And this one is a little bit different. I put this little fuzzy stuff and bells. Yeah, I like that. On the third day, I did a JBW design from his I don't know, a collection of number 7, and I did this Christmas tree right here. And I finished it in a round. I went to Hobby Lobby. No, I didn't go to Hobby Lobby. I wanted to go to Hobby Lobby to look for a triangle piece because I have quilting rulers to try and make a triangle so that I could have finished it like that, but I just couldn't get the angle correct. It was way too wide at the bottom, and if I cut one side and then the other was not symmetrical, so I ended up finishing it in a round. And yeah, I don't know if maybe I'll put a bow here to fill up some of the space maybe, but I haven't decided. So, oh, a little piece of lint. And then the back is just hard backing. And that was my Mania number 3. So then on May 7th, I did another Lizzie Kate, and it is Snow. Now I stitched this on a 28 count cashel linen, and I got to tell you, I'm not a linen person. I didn't enjoy it. I found it a struggle. There's a piece of lint there. I found it a struggle to stitch on it, and I don't know why. But I held it in hand stitching on this one, where the other ones I used a little tension hoop, and I finished it with just a piece of felt on this one. I put a piece of batting in here, and then I glued it to the back, added this white trim, and then a piece of felt. So that's my halfway through Mania. Last night I started another start, but I'm not going to show it to you. I did not finish it, so I probably will not finish it today. And then once I finished these, I said that if I had stitching time, which obviously I did, I would pick up one of my whips that I put aside for the Mania time period and stitch on that. And I had a finish, and that was this one, Comfort Lighthouse by Carriage House Samplings. I love this piece. I think I want to do a beach wall. I want to do a patriotic wall. I'm like so into everything that I don't know when I'm going to have everything completed, but I have good intentions. And here's my finished piece of Comfort Lighthouse. Let's see. Yeah, I made her a little realistic there, which was not charted. But I figured if her bustier is so low, it would look silly with her just hanging out there with nothing normal. Anyway, in one of my last videos, somebody had asked how I finished my little hangings. Now, in my one prior to Mania, I was not rushing, but I wanted to get this done before May so that I can put it on a hanger and display it downstairs. So they asked me how I did these. And basically I cut, in this case, I cut a 2-inch strip and I attached it on the sides. And what I do is I try to get a line of X's, or the, of how, I don't know, but a straight line. And I line up the fabric, and then I stitch it the sides first, and then I add the top and the bottom. And then what I do is I get the backing fabric, I put that on top of this piece, and a piece of batting, which is in the back of it. And then I stitch the whole thing like you would normally stitch a little pillow that you're finishing. And I leave the bottom opened. So I sew all the way around. I leave about a 2.5 inch opening, and then I flip it inside out. And what I do next is I do a stitch right, in this case, I did it on the fabric in pink. And I stitched it all the way around. And I did it to stabilize the piece so that the batting would never shift, hopefully. So that's the idea of stitching there. Then I stitched the bottom. In this case, I hand stitched it. I don't know if you can see it, but I hand stitched it shut. Then I make a sleeve for it. And basically, yeah, it's a wide sleeve, but I make it wide so that it's easier to turn inside out because you're working on a wrong side of a fabric. I'm just looking to see if I have a piece of fabric here. So what you're doing is when you're making a sleeve, you're putting right sides together, sewing it, and then you have to turn it inside out. So I just find it so much easier to turn if it's a larger piece. And it doesn't make a difference as long as you tack the top, and you also have to tack the bottom. And what I do is I press it straight, and then I fold it up like 1/4 inch and tack there so that it has a little bit of give in case I ever want to hang this on a dowel or a wider piece of something. There's room, and it's not enough room where it'll show at the top, like it'll never come up above the piece. So, and that's how I complete those. Okay, back to my notes. One of my favorite things, being that I already shot this video before, oh, here it is. I shot this video and I didn't like it, so I redid it. I wanted to talk about my favorite thing this week are these duck-billed scissors. To me, they look more like a penguin. Not a penguin. A pelican. A pelican than a duck-bill. So when I was stitching this, and I was a lot of times at the sewing machine, what sewers do is they have a little piece of fabric, and they run it through the machine before you put your actual piece that you're sewing on. So a lot of times at the end when you start at the end, it can get caught in the machine. It can go into the machine and get stuck. So I always have a little piece of fabric that I start with. But in this case, I didn't need it because I was sewing like 1/4 inch in, so it would never fall into the machine. But what happened was the piece of fabric that I had somehow got caught underneath, and I got it sewn onto the fabric. So this I sewed just now to show you how to do this. What I do is I get the duckbill, and it should be this way, and I put it on the table is easier because you don't want to cut your cross stitching. You're basically cutting the fabric away. Now, if I was cutting it on the table, it would be a slightly closer. And I found this out only by chance because I didn't want to pull the stitching out. And what I did was, once I cut it, I kind of like just used my nail and went like that, and it came, oops, I'm off camera, and it came right out. And that was, to me, it was a big time saver than pulling out the stitches and then re-sewing it. Now, if I work on it, it'll all come out because that's what happened when I did it originally. Alrighty, so that's my update. I just wanted to touch base on some new cross stitchers that I found, and some that I have been watching, but I'm going to mention. And one is GiGi in Stitches. people were talking about GiGi, and I wanted to find her, and I couldn't find her because I was spelling GiGi wrong. Um, so finally, I realized it's GiGi and not Gee. So anyway, my mistake. I found her. I watched her beginning videos, and I'm caught up to her now, and she's darling with her daughter Natalie. Natalie signs as GiGi's talking, and she's trying to teach us how to sign. And I don't think I'm going to try it here because I don't think I'm very good. But as she does it, I try to sign. She shows us the words, and in Ginger, GiGi is really Ginger, and she shows us some of her finishes. She's participating in Mania. She does some beautiful work. She has a beautiful piece on the wall behind her, and if you have a chance, you should check her out. Another one who's been around a long, long time. She doesn't do weekly or monthly. Sometimes she skips months, so I forget until I get a notice that a new video's up, and that's Stephanie Oh Sew Crafty, and sew is SEW. Wow, what a stitcher. She does these huge projects, full coverage pieces, mirabilias. I think it's a Thomas Kincaid of Winnie the Pooh, total coverage. She's done some castles and princesses. I mean, gorgeous, gorgeous work that when I grow up, I want to stitch like Stephanie. And one last person is Christine at Stitch All the Things. Christine has been cross-stitching a while, but she's also taken up quilting. And in the, I don't know how many years it was now, but maybe 7, she has become such a wonderful quilter. She tackles projects that I don't think I would ever. She does beautiful, beautiful work, and even her cross stitches, she has a shelf behind her of her finishes. As a matter of fact, Ginger Gerald just did an interview of Christine, and it was a lot of fun watching the two of them talk about cross stitch and seeing some of the things that she's worked on in the past, and her fiber arts, basically. So that's my floss tube for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you subscribe. And until next time, in the next one, I'll show you the rest of my mania. It will be after the New Jersey retreat. And I hope to get some stitching there. I hope a lot of chatting and getting to know people. Like everybody else that I've been seeing on Facebook, everybody seems to be saying they're nervous, and I'm one of those nervous Nellies as well. Not really knowing other than 2 people that I've met in person, and that's Margot Howard, and she's also on Flosstube, and Arlene Cohen, who is basically, she and McKenna at Stitching in Sequence is putting the retreat together. So it should be a lot of fun. I'm really anxious to meet all the people that, every single person, whether it's Flosstube or no Flosstube. I'm really excited to make some friends. And in the Stitching Social sisters, Jennifer and Allison, Jennifer was so sweet. She had said she wanted pen pals. And then in the following video, she said she had about 13 or so pen pals and how she was communicating with them. And I thought that was such fun. And maybe at this retreat, I'll find some pen pals and communicate with them on a more personal level of what's going on and what they're working on, and share ideas. Well, okay, that's it for today. Have a great day. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you subscribe, and I hope you give me a thumbs up. Take care. Bye.